showing up. So yeah, today we're going to talk about showing up. We're still here. We're still in this place where it's about mastering showing up before anything else is even kind of relevant or ready to be spoken and shared, is how I feel, because it's still the bridge that I'm crossing over. I definitely have a part of me that thinks it's really funny that we're still talking about showing up. I wrote down what I feel like that part is saying. I feel like that part is saying, yo, shouldn't you just get to saying what you're saying? Get to saying what you're here to say instead of dilly-dallying further and making another post about showing up. And to that part, I say, not yet. We're not there yet. We're still crossing this bridge. And I know there will always be blocks to showing up, especially as we set higher and higher targets for ourselves and we continue to honor our evolution and set goals and targets that push us to new levels of showing up. But I do know that there is a place that we get to, which kind of acts as our first layer of solid ground on this journey of showing up as a creator online, expressing yourself, whatever form that may take, but utilizing the platforms we have available to us right now and showing up. That's the kind of showing up I'm talking about, but really showing up encompasses so much more than the actual getting here and doing this, which is the final step in the process, right? But there's so much that goes into this, into being here right now at the end of my week on a Saturday, creating the space both internally and externally for this to happen. Because the goal isn't just to show up. That's half of it. I feel that the goal is to show up coherently. Is to show up with an ability to express myself coherently and authentically. That's my goal. And right now I'm still working on the showing up part. And I want to interweave as much coherence and authenticity into this as possible. But I'm definitely still focused on really mastering this first big level of showing up. So this might relate to other people who watch this who feel blocked from showing up, because it sounds easy enough, just show up and do what you know you want to do what you know you need to do. So blocks to showing up, the way I see them, they're either internal blocks, meaning fear, psychological distortions or stories that inhibit you, stop you from doing that thing that you know you want to do. And then there's what is perceived as external blocks, like circumstances and environmental situations and people and things that feel like they're outside of ourselves. But really, I want to group all of that together and say that as much as I honor the process of being with the blocks as we move through them, which is what this video really is like me being with where I'm at still and being honest and saying I really didn't feel like showing up in many ways today and I just didn't feel like doing it. And this is usually literally the point. Second video would have been the point where in the past I might have just completely abandoned the whole commitment. So as much as I honor the process and all the transformation that can occur from being gentle with ourselves and tending to the different parts that we discover about ourselves as we move from not showing up to showing up, I will say I think that all of the reasons not to show up at the end of the day are not valid, that they are just illusionary blocks. You know, we can show up. Like, I can show up and I can make a video and I can post it, whether it's coherent and like really clear and really connected and easy to understand by the person who's watching. I don't know. Like, maybe not yet. But right now I'm working on the showing up piece. And all the blocks, a lot of them are stories that can be completely, like, immediately dispelled, like in an instant. Like, that's just not true. You know, a thought that says, I just can't do that today because I have too many other things to do. You have 10 minutes, so that's not true. But there might be something underlying that, which is a fear, which is an inner child that's really, really scared. And we need both masculine and feminine energy to work through that. We need the really gentle, loving, nurturing self-love that it takes to undo some of that. And we also need the masculine, which just goes forward anyway. And so, yeah, it's a holy process to really truly show up. And not just for the sake of showing up, but for the sake of really evolving into our truest version, our most expressed version, to make a contribution to this world. There's two things that I have to thank for me showing up in a new way right now. One of those is the accountability of a group container that actually feels soul aligned for me. That is invaluable, having the accountability from people around you that are truly aligned with the same things that I am at this time. It just makes it like almost sure to happen when you're doing it with other people and in communication with other people, because you can see how silly some of your excuses might be. And the other thing is being ready, like the magic of being ready, that like I mentioned in the last video, isn't in our control, but it is. Some of it is, some of it isn't. You're going to be ready when you're ready. You know, I've moved through a lot of shadow and a lot of material to get to this place now. It doesn't just happen overnight. And that's to be honored, because online we see people who have been showing up for a long time and we think, whoa, that should just be easy. They're doing it so, you know, they're doing it so well and they make it look so easy. But they've been putting in the work. And at first, I'm sure those people were not consistent. They were not doing it gracefully, you know? So yeah. We'll see if I can make a video out of what I have filmed today. I wasn't well prepared. I have my own personal reasons that get in my way, my personal blocks that show up, and I don't think they're valid, but they still do block me. I consider them low-key, subtle, but also very overt self-sabotage mechanisms. And I'm going to be with that. I'm going to be with them for a minute and check in and ask, why do we keep, you know, why are we doing this? Like, we've got momentum now. We can go. We can go. We don't need to keep having negative consumption patterns, for example, or like creative overwhelm that shows up and it's like, what are we going to even say? What are we going to share? I've realized that is very much just an inflation, like of an illusionary story as well that's playing. Like, you don't need to be overwhelmed by what to share. If you're overwhelmed by what to share, then just share what's real for you on this day, and that's it. That's you showing up. Again, it may not come out super clear and coherent right away, and that's okay, because at first, when we start showing up, we have a lot of built up material that needs to surface and needs to come out. And it's going to sound how it's going to sound. And it's going to look how it's going to look. And it's going to be how it's going to be. And it just is what it is. And today I am showing up and I am committing to, after going to pick up my daughter, And when I have the space, you know, tonight, maybe after she goes to sleep, I'm gonna try to do it before she goes to sleep and just sit on the couch and edit and put these videos that I've filmed today that are a little all over the place, a little scattered. I'm gonna put them together and I'm gonna put something that feels authentic and feels true and feels like the best I can do today. And I'm gonna post it. And that's gonna be me showing up for myself. That's gonna be me showing up for this world. That's gonna be me showing up. Yeah.